Hey everyone, welcome to another vlog of mine. So, as you can see by my Buy More shirt, I'll be talking about Chuck, like I said yesterday. So, one little key fact that you might not know, in the movie Grandma's Boy, um, the guy what's his name, Joel David Moore, who was actually on an episode of Chuck in season 4, the his room in Grandma's Boy was actually the original Intersect room. Little Q known fact. Um, Also, just to prove how much of a fan, besides wearing a Buy More shirt, I have DVD'd versions of 1, 2, and 3, plus seasons 1 on Blu-ray, 2 on Blu-ray, 3 on Blu-ray, 4 on Blu-ray, and 5 on Blu-ray. Also, I have a Captain Awesome shirt. I have a, hold on, Nerd Herd satchel, I think that's called, or I forget what it's called. Anyway, so you can know that I am an, oh yeah, and I have one of those shirts that have like the fake tie and the little thing that keeps his badge and his what's it called, pens. That's it. So yeah, you got that too. So yeah, um, that's just proof right there. And so pretty much, I'm just gonna describe how um, Chuck is from, well, the show from the starting point in season 1 to Chuck ends last season. So the way it begins is Chuck's the normal guy who works at the Buy More, which is kind of like a Best Buy type store. Um, he is being thrown a birthday party, or not birthday party, but a party for him by his sister and her boyfriend, Captain Awesome, or Devin Woodcomb. Um, a little known fact, Devin Woodcomb was actually supposed to be a bad guy by the end of the season, but since a lot of people liked him, they decided to take that out altogether and not do it because so many people like him. Anyways, and so at one point, um, while Chuck is playing his Metal Gear War video game, Morgan, his buddy, who's wearing, I believe, was wearing one of these shirts, goes over to his computer and sees that Bryce Larkin, who is his nemesis at this point, sent him an email. Um, I think it's on his birthday. I'm not really sure. I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember 100%. Anyways, and this is where the intercept begins. Morgan leaves, and uh, Chuck unlocks this little Zork mystery type text video game, and that's when the intersect comes. And John Casey and Sarah Walker come and and find him, and trouble ensues. Sarah takes the more I'm attracted to you type of method, whereas John Casey, he does the whole I'm gonna go and capture you and put you in like a padded cell type thing, or a padded room or whatever. So they end up on Chuck and Sarah end up on a date. It's not really a date, but Chuck doesn't know it. He goes and they go on their date. John Casey's after them, even though he doesn't know. He doesn't know it. Uh, Chuck doesn't know it, and that's pretty much how that part starts. Then over the season, um, you find out about Fulcrum and how they're trying to find him. And there's always every once in a while there's these episodes where they're trying to find out who he is, or they're trying to get it out of his head, or the CIA or NSA are trying to get it out of his head. And then when they finally make their own intersect, that or remake it after the first one was destroyed, it ends up being destroyed again because um, there was a Trojan horse that Fulcrum put into it, and then that's how um, Chuck ended up staying with the Intersect. Now, over a time, things happen like John Casey's mentor comes in and stir things up a bit for an episode. Random stars from Lord of the Rings to other movies or shows come in. I think that at one point there was a guy from Star Trek, the first one, not the second one, that more recently came out. And then by the end of season 2, that's where, by that point, at the end, he doesn't have the intersect because his father, Orion, who he finds out is his father, Stephen Perkowski. He takes it out, and then Bryce Larkin. They find out Bryce Larkin's captured, and he needs to be saved. So the gang comes and saves him. But the problem is, or tries to save him. But the problem is, they're ring agents at this point. You don't really know who they are, but you find out later. They are there, and they're trying to stop John Casey and Sarah Walker and Chuck. But Chuck goes into a certain area and then is able to drop into where Bryce Larkin is. Bryce Larkin's shot. He's gonna die. So Bryce Larkin gives Chuck the little it's like a metal piece that kind of has it's kind of like this, sorry, that in a way. Anyways, but this part right here, that's plastic, and this is metal. Anyways, before he does that, he uploads the new 2.0 Intersect, and the bad guys come in because they capture John and Sarah, and then Chuck flashes, and he does his kung fu. He beats them all up, and then he says, "I know kung fu." Then season 3 starts off with Sarah wanting to leave with Chuck and lead the spy life. He turns her down because he wants to become a spy, and it was because of her that he wanted to become a spy. They kind of break up, or they're broken up for a while, and then eventually they get back together over the bonds of him not actually being never actually killing someone, and then Shaw, and during this point Shaw is in there, and he finds out that that Sarah killed Shaw's wife, but Sarah didn't know that, but Shaw doesn't really care, even though he doesn't really show it at first, but then later he does, and he tries to kill her, but Chuck shoots him twice, and he ends up going over, and Sarah and Chuck live happily ever after. Then, near the end of the season, Orion, Chuck's dad, comes back, and Chuck has these dreams that are somehow intertwined with the intersect. And then they find out that it's possible that he could be like flashing while he was asleep, whatever. So, anyways, but after a while, Orion tells Chuck that these flashes are gonna affect his brain. So makes the governor, which is a watch, and then at some point near the end, the second last episode, and these are all spoilers, so sorry if you haven't seen it. Shaw shoots Orion and kills him, and at that point, Chuck loses the only governor that helps him out, and they end up all getting Chuck, Sarah, and John all get captured, but then Ellie, Devin, and Morgan all help them out to escape by using John Casey's car, who has like all these cool weapons, and so he uses a missile, saves them, and then they drive off, and then it's still the intersect's still affecting the brain, and then I'm just going to skip a little bit because I don't want to give you everything, and I don't want to ruin everything for you, so let's just say Shaw loses, and Chuck is still alive and has a governor. Season 4. Now we get into Fulcrum and Alexei Volkov and Mara Bertowski, and who is a Linda Hamilton, and Alexei Volkov is Timothy Dalton. And if you're wondering who Orion was, his name is Scott Bakula. I think that's how you say his name. Anyways, so pretty much for the first half, it's Chuck's mom trying to keep Alexei Volkov away from Chuck, and Chuck trying to save the mother, Chuck's mom, and then eventually get to the point where he is able to get Alexei Volkov into jail and save his mom from Alexei Volkov. Now, by the way, at some point in the third season, halfway through the third season, I think it was like the 9th episode, I believe it's called Chuck versus the Beard, Morgan finds out about Chuck being a spy. Just that part. Now let's skip back to season 4. Then the second half is about Alexei Volkov's daughter. I'm trying to remember her name. Never mind. Vivian Volkov. She at first is a good guy, but then kind of gets molded into being a bad guy by Alexei Volkov's number 2 type guy. Um, and situations happen where the CIA is not holding up to their end, and um, things go wrong. So, in the end, uh, Chuck and Sarah get married, and Vivian Volkov and Alexei Volkov leave and have these new identities so they can live happily ever after. And they gave all the Volkov money to them so they can start their own business called Carmichael Industries. And they left the spy life with the CIA. Now, season 5. Now, they start off with Carmichael Industries, and by the way, at this point, at the end of season 4, Morgan put on these glasses, and which had these bad version of the Intersect 3.0. I think it's 3.0 or 2.0. Anyways, and by this point in season 5, what was I going to say? It's more of they're trying to teach Morgan how to use Intersect properly, but with the Intersect affecting his brain, his attitude's changing. He's doing things like breaking up with John Casey's daughter, which you find out about in season 4. And so there's that also. And at some point in season 5, I think, don't quote me on this, John Casey's ex-fiancée or wife finds out that he's still alive. They don't get back together at all, just by the way. But now they know each other is alive. What else? You also get to meet Sarah Walker's handler, who is played by Tim DeKay, who is Peter in White Collar. Just thought I'd let you know. So that episode was pretty cool. Also, you meet the guy that was supposed to be Chuck, but ended up wasn't because Bryce took the Intersect in the first place. I believe. Does it say his name? I believe it's Alex something. Or, I don't know. The bad guys comes in near the last couple of episodes. I believe it's Chuck versus Bo. I think that's where he comes in, and his vendetta is trying to get the Intersect. And by this point, Morgan is de-intersected, and after that, I believe it's called Chuck versus the Bullet Train. By this point, Sarah has the defected Intersect in her head. She tries to she uses the Intersect too much, and she starts losing her memory. Alex, the bad guy, he ends up capturing her and using these flashcards that only affect people that have the Intersect, and he pretty much wipes her mind clean from Chuck and doesn't really know, doesn't remember the past 5 years. And then slowly but surely, Chuck is able to remind her like little things, and like she can't really remember him, but she knows that they were once together and they were madly in love, but she doesn't have that feeling that she once had, which really pisses her off. And so, anyways, Alex, he wants to remake the internet intersect, but it's in three parts. One person from Fulcrum has it, and then one person from the Ring has it, and one from Lexi Volkov's company. Each person no, sorry, Fulcrum, the Ring, and then finally someone else that you know that's on the good guy's side, but didn't know that he or she had it. But he or she sits on a bomb, didn't know that. Anyways, unfortunately, uh, 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 the bad guy gets defeated, and uh, they can't use the intersect glasses because to save Sarah's mind, because they need to use it to save what's her name? No, I'm not gonna say what's her name or his name. To save that person's life, save his life, and he uses the intersect to save this person's life. And then they go back to the famous beach that you see in the pilot, Sarah and Chuck, and she asks Chuck to tell him about the last 5 years and all the stories and stuff like that. And then the last words were Chuck kissed me, or something along those lines. So that's Chuck in a nutshell. If you're interested in it, go look it up on the internet. I'm not going to say where. I would suggest if you start liking it, please buy the seasons because it'll help with a movie. Like there's rumors going around that there might be a movie, but we need you to go and buy not the movie. You need to go and buy the seasons for the movie to happen. Okay. So do that. Whether it's DVD, Blu-ray, doesn't matter. Just do that. Next time, I don't know what other TV show I'm gonna do next, or if I'm gonna be wearing something that has to do it. Probably not. 'Cause to tell you the truth, I don't really have anything to go with anything else besides maybe Heroes, and I don't know if I'm gonna do that next. But anyways, so overall, awesome TV show, best TV show best TV show that I love, and it's number one in my heart. Please go check it out. Chuck, the guy who plays Chuck, Zachary Levi, he has a Twitter account. Sarah Walker of Monster Hosky has a Twitter. Um, Lester, yeah, no, Jeff has a Twitter. Um, Big Mike has a Twitter. Ellie has a Twitter. Devin has a Twitter. John Casey has a Twitter. Morgan has a Twitter. Alex, John Casey's daughter, has a Twitter. And that's all that I can think of right now. If you're wondering what their names are, I've already said a couple of them, but if you're wondering who the other ones are, Google Chuck, and that's it. Don't put Chuck Norris. Just put Chuck. It should be the first thing. Go to the IMDb one link, and then scroll down, and then you'll see the names. and then just put in the top right corner of your internet where it says Google. It should be up there somewhere, uh, whatever the name is, and then space Twitter, or whatever, and then you'll find it. So, anyways, whenever you watch this, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and I hope you enjoyed this 25 minutes and 30 probably some odd seconds. So whenever you watch this, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and goodbye.